Hi. Got carried away with my chimes. Season's greetings. Whatever you're celebrating, it's in the air. It's everywhere. Uh, uh, we got a. This is right now. We're taping this. Obviously, and it'll be re-aired every on a lot on SF Commons. If you go to SF Commons or Bayvac, you'll see the schedule. Because Comcast quit tagging us 9 years ago when Bayvac took over. But we're rallying with even without Comcast's help. We still, God bless us. Yeah, thanks to the SF Comics family, all us producers. We're here, rain or shine. All kinds of weather. We support each other. So it's been a nine for me. It's my ninth year, and it's very sentimental. It's been 9 years of amazing growth I didn't know I needed, lessons I didn't know I needed. It's interesting being a psychic. I guess I've been doing this long enough now, and just the other day something happened where somebody, a cashier at the store who I sort of I just know at the Safeway, tested me. It was kind of an insult, and then I realized. I kept a poker face, but I knew what was going on. Yeah, people, when they find out I'm authentic, yeah. I know there's a lot of people who say they're psychic out there, and a lot of people have been hurt. And I guess so. It's when I introduce myself, and a lot of people like to test me, and they quickly find out that I'm the real thing. I am who I really am. Boy, things are more like they are now than they ever have been. As I was leaving the house just a few minutes ago, it's Thursday the 20th. Tomorrow's the Winter Solstice, the 21st, at 2:23 p.m. And then at 9:49 a.m. So that's just like a few hours, really. So this winter solstice conjuncts the full moon. Woo, woo, woo. That's good stuff. This full moon is laced with all kinds of spiritual, mystical elements as it represents a double closure and a beginning and a new beginning. Be prepared. A new season has begun, and the new year is just around the bend. A celebration of new life and the opportunity for future growth. Getting rid of things that aren't working for us. And I wrote like that orange thing in the White House. Well, as I was leaving the house, as I was saying a few seconds ago, breaking news, and this is really like, so there's been so much breaking news lately. It's sort of, excuse me, oh my God, I feel a sneeze coming. Oh, bless me. Excuse me. It's like the kid who cries wolf, and then when the wolf's really there, nobody believes her because she's been crying wolf all this time. And then when everybody got there, she was just testing them. And I guess with CNN and MSNBC, it's especially CNN, bless their souls, I guess their heart's in the right place, but it's breaking news, breaking news. But today was actually breaking news. Mad Dog Mattis quit. When Mad Dog Mattis, General Mad Dog, excuse me, no disrespect there, when General Mad Dog Mattis, the last shred of adulthood or sanity in this White House, the Donald Trump White House, when he says Donald Trump is too crazy for me, that's breaking news. It really is. I mean, I don't want to freak everybody out if you're not freaked out already, but even if your faith is really strong, this sends a shiver down. I said months ago, not that I'm making this about me, but I think a lot of people who were not in the mainstream who were talking real, who didn't have sponsors to cater to. That's the beauty of public access TV, democracy TV. God bless San Francisco for keeping SF Commons going. But yeah, so we got some craziness. It's beyond crazy. We have he's a president who's obviously to everybody under the spell of indebted to or a puppet for Putin, and he's destroying. Something's got to give. I mean, this was like, as I said, when Mad Dog Mattis leaves, it's time to leave. So isn't it interesting that this would all happen at this amazing time now? Remember, this is the peak of a really interesting dark night of the soul. If you ask me, long dark night of the soul. So as a psychic, we see contracts. And a Dark Night of the Soul, the new version of the Dark Night of the Soul. Read Thomas More. Thomas More, the Soulmates guy, who wrote all those Care of the Soul books. He wrote a book called Dark Nights of the Soul. When you're going through the Dark Night of the Soul, it's so important to remember you're going through it to learn something. I had some really funny things. I was going to start the show up with the funny stuff because it always ends so fast. I have 52 minutes here, and then it ends so fast because I get so carried away that. But I'll remember. I'll remember not to. I made a lot of notes here. Yeah, we'd celebrate the birth of the Prince of Peace. There was a baby born on Christmas, supposedly, and an astronaut of inner space, and everything that Trump is, Jesus wasn't. He was a pacifist, a healer. When I first started doing healings, oh God, we're talking like 40 years ago, good, yeah, 35, 40 years ago. No, 36, exactly, 35, 36 years ago. People would say, Jesus never charged for healings. I go, how do you know? Were you there? And I never really charged. Most of my life, when I started doing healings, I was reading for roaches, at cannabis, because I needed warm bodies. So I would go to cannabis clubs, dispensaries, and do that. Yeah, so we're leaving 2018, which has been an 11-year. It still is right now, an 11-year. Actually, it's an 11-year. And it's a 5-month. So the United States of America is a 5-life path, and 2019 is a 3-year. If you add 2019, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 is 3, so it's a universal 3-year. We see the sprouts come up of the seeds we planted 2 years ago. So I like to see this as the lessons we got when Mars early on the morning of Election Day slipped into Aquarius. Nobody saw that coming, but that was the monkey wrench. And we got this lesson now, this priceless lesson on how we're going to rally from this. America is strong. But I tell you, this has got everybody really nervous what happened today, because I said, I lost my train of thought and I got it back again, that this president was not going to go out without a war. Because it's when there's a war going on, it's hard to deal with all his personal felonies and crimes and muggery. It's sort of like everything come out now in the wash, and it's mob-like. It's the Costa Nostra, the mafia, and like when Comey, when he said to Comey, lay off of Flynn. It's almost like, like the Godfather, lay off Flynn, capiche? Comprende? Something could happen to your kids, you know what I mean? It would be a shame, because you've got some beautiful kids there, capiche? I'm from New York. I know how mobsters talk. Yeah, Donald Trump is off her rocker, she's a Looney Tune. Off the deep end, man overboard. I don't know if he's, I hate to call it even a man, he's this, I almost gag thinking of him nowadays. I can't even watch him, I changed the channel. But as I said, I like what Carl Jung said. We are born at a given moment, in a given place, and like vintage years of wine, we have the qualities of the year and of the season of which we are born. Astrology does not lay claim to anything more. So work with a good astrologer when you get to the point in your life when you start transcending your ego. You want to find out your real essence. What was your cosmic fingerprint? All you need is the time of your birth. Yeah, so we celebrate the Prince of Peace. I don't know who most Christians call themselves. Gandhi, if you want a stocking stuffer, here's a great book by Gandhi's grandson, Arun, A-R-U-N, Gandhi, The Gift of Anger. Beautiful, beautiful book. And so one funny little thing here. Oh yeah, one of my sayings were at the end of the year, I always like to say, thank you for bringing me all the people that made my life better, and thank you for all the people that left, making my life amazing. That's my Scorpio Mercury, you know, kind of. It's not Barb though, but yeah, you know, nothing ever goes away until it teaches us what we need to learn. So please, for the sake of God, for Christ's sake, you know, in the name of God, things are as bad as they can get now. I mean, we are literally, he just gave Putin the Ukraine. This is not funny, you know. This is a time for, you know, but even though I know we're going to get through this, this is like, and Putin is talking about the nuclear weapon. Yeah, he's saying now he's not above using his nuclear weapons. And Donald Trump said, what are they for? So you get these two madmen together. We got to do something. Mueller's got to come up really, really fast, like at the 11th hour, Dudley Do-Right, you know. If he does, I don't know, maybe he'll be our next president if he'd take the job. He's a Boy Scout, which is what we need. The pendulum always goes the other way. But yeah, this is Thursday the 20th, and as we approach this full moon, remember, full moons, the tides rise. We're going to talk about the full moon in a second, but I want to get this out of the way, this Gandhi thing. You know, Gandhi, grandson tells a story about when Gandhi went Gandhi's to go to King's party in a loincloth, bared one headline. Yeah, that was the headline of the papers in London. Gandhi to go to King's party in a loincloth, exclamation point, quote unquote, ahead of the blared one headline. They loved the idea that he would be walking across the crimson carpet of Buckingham Palace in a khadi. I guess that's the sheet. And well-worn sandals. King George came in wearing the daytime formal dress of a morning coat and stripes trousers, and Queen Mary stood by in a shimmering silver tea gown. When he was asked if he felt underdressed wearing a loincloth in the presence of the king, he says his grandfather famously quipped, Q-U-I-P-P-E-D, quote unquote, the king had enough on for both of us. I love Gandhi. I love Gandhi. They asked him once what he thought of Western civilization, and he said, I think it would be a great idea. I love you, Gandhi. Yeah, he talks here. Last time I was here, I talked about anger, so if you want to see that, it's on the show I did last month, beginning of this month. It's on YouTube. But he talks about passive violence is the fuel that ignites physical violence in the world. If we want to put the fire out of physical violence, we have to cut the fuel supply. Our greed, wasteful habits perpetuate poverty, which is violence against humanity. Yeah, this is good stuff, Maynard. And then he says later on here, move the world through love, not fear. Make our courage bigger than our fear. Well, it's good to have a faith in God, you know, with God when everything's going sweet, you know, and God willing, we'll have a lot of those sweet times. But to have a faith that falls apart when the poop hits the fan, when you're going through quantum changes, paradigm changes, nothing's going to remotely resemble what it used to look like. I brought some help for that. Someone the other day said to me after a session with me, she said she got the message that her mind was really running amok. She was a Virgo. She is a Virgo. God bless her. And I realized your mind, worrisome Virgo. That's a shadow of Virgo. And then she says, well, how do I quiet? How do I start working on? How do I do that? Okay, you will start by reading these things. I gave her a whole list of things to read, and first of all, make the effort. At least they say, how do you free people? Well, first you got to convince them they're in a prison. Gurdjieff said that. Yeah, good thing. I always look at the bright side. The only good thing I could see about Donald Trump is now parents. I don't have any children. And I can't use the gay thing anymore because now, I'm old. I'm too old. I'm 70. That's even though I'm going to live to be 120. I don't know. But anyway, Donald Trump now, people have children can say, see what happens to you if you don't read? Put down those computers now and pick up a book. Put down that, stop twittering. See, you're going to end up being just like that orange tyrant, that despot, this despicable minion. He's not the Antichrist, but he's definitely he and his whole friends. Like Gandhi said, not Gandhi, somebody said, non-cooperation with evil is as much a duty as cooperation with good. So he goes, I know how difficult it is to follow this grand law of love, but are not all great and good things difficult to do? Question mark. Love of the hater is the most difficult of all, but even this most difficult thing becomes easy to accomplish if we want to do it. Yeah, once Donald Trump is doing the Thorazine shuffle in a madhouse, yeah, I'll love him more then. I'll love him when he can't take away my civil rights, kill babies, and do all these and nuke us. Excuse me. Yeah, how could you not keep on getting to the most? That's why Washington D.C. is really and well deserved at their wits' end now. Because Putin has said in his very, that if the United States gets in his way, he's not above using they got no economy. They got the economy the size of Texas, I think, or is it Delaware? I mean, it's. I think Texas has a much bigger economy than the whole, Russian. So yeah, I know it's hard to even do this show. My head's still kind of, so this is breaking through a lot of nuclear numbing. Things are even his own party now, who have been dancing around his wounds for their own selfish gain, are really up in arms now. I mean, we're talking like never before has any president or any said they were going to use a nuclear weapon. It's always been, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And that, they say was just to show off and show future generations what could happen, And what could happen is a nuclear winter, even if we're spared the initial, but I don't know. I don't want to get on this. Okay, Frank. Breathe. Well, this is a time for us to use this energy now. See, this is the North Node in Cancer, the axis, Cancer, Capricorn, South Node. And I've been doing a lot of research on this, going up and down YouTube videos on astrologers, and Googling up all the information I could on the axis. Because for 18 months now, we switched a few days ago, last week, from the North Node, Leo, the heart, and Aquarius, 18 months of the South Node, Aquarius. We had 18 months to get our uniqueness through our heart and filter it through a heart chakra. And yeah, we did some cool stuff, looking back at all the positives, all gays. We made some strides until President Trump took over. This artificial president. It's not funny anymore. If you see me giggling right now, it's. I guess I have like a bit of a neurotic laugh when things like. I mean, I really want to be here until you know, because I'm a vegan, and I survived cancer and all kinds of, you know. I was in Guatemala in the 70s when guerrillas were shooting, you know, guerrilla soldiers were shooting with machine guns. Yeah, I've been in some hairy spaces, you know, gone through some rough times, and now I hear vegans can live to be 120. So being I just turned 70, I got a nice chunk of time left, you know. I mean, I'm rocking it, you know. So yeah, yes, so, you know, this is making me, if anything, we're embracing our moments now. So let's pray that, you know, they'll do the right thing now. And, yeah, FDR said a nation does not have to be cruel to be strong, you know, and all this president, every one of his cabinet now. By the way, all the adults are gone, all the generals, even though they were right-wing, they were the adult right-wingers, you know. And now we just have him running amok, you know, and he's out of control because he knows he's done some bad things, and he's in big trouble. And so what's he got to lose, you know? Remember, I keep on reminding myself, one fact of psychology, one fact of life is narcissists can, one word that's like totally sets them off. They can't handle it. It's like destroys them. It tears them apart is the word no. Narcissists cannot handle the word no. Whenever we get a no and we react really badly, remind ourselves, oh, wow, a flag just went off. I got my narcissist just came out. And then work on it. You know, we're here to work on ourselves. We're here to integrate all these different parts of our charts. Like, you know, a lot of people say, oh, I hate having Venus in that position, or, oh, yeah, my Mars in Pisces makes me so sensitive. Yeah. No, it's a gift. It's a gift. We're going to talk about that, you know. We're going to talk about that. Yeah, what a gift. Being born is, you know, like Stevie Wonder in Higher Ground. DD here on Cable Access TV in San Francisco has a few tributes to Stevie Wonder, and I call him Stevie Wonderful because and that's a compliment. I don't want to disrespect his name, Stevie Wonder, but to me, he's the most wonderful human being. And what he says in Higher Ground, if you ever listen to the word Higher Ground, I'm so glad I got a chance to try it again. In my last life, I lived a whole world of sin. I'm glad, yeah, he understands that, you know, we're here to evolve, go to higher ground. You know, so I believe we got a demonstration now of Donald Trump, this hideous, despicable person. I'm trying to, the redeeming value, I'm looking at some redeeming value is he's the catalyst for the paradigm changes that are, we understand now that he's every corporation. He's like a nightmare exaggerate. It's not a nightmare. It's a real. He's a so I'm a New Yorker. I even though I left in the 72, right after draft board told me I wasn't being drafted, I was going to go. You know, it was my duty. I love this country. I was willing to die for it. It's not my fault my number didn't come up in the lottery. I'm not going to apologize for not going to Vietnam. I mean, I was going to go. It's not my fault. Fate would have it that you know, I didn't get to go, you know. But believe me, I didn't escape any kind of lessons. I ended up creating my own hell through drug addictions and all kinds of nightmare psychosis brought on by pharmaceuticals, you know. So I fought my own war, you know. I fought my own. I'm not, you know. I survived many overdoses. Yeah, it was, you know. I was told, first of all, just being gay enough was a mental disorder. it was just a few years ago the Supreme Court cured insanity. They made all these gay people sane with the stroke of a pen. But they had me on all kinds of drugs where I really thought I was worthless, you know. That's why I'm so glad to be. I thought I'm alive, you know. I'm alive. Did you ever see Cat on a Hot Tin Roof with Paul Newman and Elizabeth Taylor? And Elizabeth Taylor goes, Maggie, the cat is alive. I'm alive. I do that sometimes, you know. I love old movies. Maggie, the cat is alive. The joy is in the doing, Gandhi said. You know, Gandhi said the joy is in the doing. Yeah, eventually we'll all learn how to integrate all these parts of a birth chart. We're all having a cosmic joke played on us. Get into it. Personal involvements includes all these lessons. Yeah, my Venus, Neptune, and Libra hates confrontations. And yet this gift I have when I have to actually tell people things that they don't want to hear. And it took like a few decades, like 3, and I'm just starting to get a handle on that. Tesla said, I don't think nothing can be more important than the interplanetary communications. It will certainly come someday, and the certitude that there are other human beings in the universe working, suffering, struggling like ourselves will produce a magic effect on humanity and will form a foundation of a universal brotherhood that will last so long as humanity itself. That's what Tesla said in 31. See, in 2019 is a 3 year, so Mercury rules. All occupations related to under the rulership of Mercury are going to rally. Everything from crafting jewelry, communication, self-expression. Express yourself, you know. That's why this 11 year has been black and white, no in the middle. You're either a Klansman or you're a liberal, you know. It's there's no gray area. People have been, you know, a neighbor of mine, who, you know, I can't call him a friend, just an acquaintance. The other day, just 2 days ago or just last week, I was late to go somewhere and I was on my way out, and I had just shut off the TV when I saw something that they had gotten more information to put more the news, another drop in the bucket to get Trump, you know. And I said, I mean, today was like nothing compares to what happened today with Mad Dog Mattis. When Mad Dog Mattis says Trump's out of control, we're in trouble. I won't say that anymore, but, you know, I'm talking myself down. So let's get back to this now. I know how difficult it is to follow this grand law of love. Love of the hater. Yeah, so I'll be able to love Trump a lot better when he's behind bars, you know, sedated, where he can't hurt anyone, and we got some sanity back, and someone's saying in the White House, and the world gangs up on this thug. It's like even Edward G. Robinson. It's like Donald, you know, all the mobsters sort of took like, you know, we just have a mobster. This guy is like a mobster. Politicians often have the trick of wrapping truth in a veil of mystery and giving to what is temporary and unimportant, preferably over the. Well, that's not even important now. I mean, nobody. I pretty much, along with a lot of other people, saw this coming, because I said, what's his name? That Nazi, the well-dressed skin tick, Bannon. He said in his book that when Trump left, he was going to go in a civil war. I went beyond that. I said, no, he's going to make an international, he's going to make it a big war, because what's he got to lose? I mean, he's indicted on so many. It's going to come out pretty soon now that he's a thug. He's literally, a thug comes from India, and this was these horrible people that used to, there was these long, I'm paraphrasing here, but you could look it up, but there was these trails, if you wanted to get anywhere in between these big cities in India, you had to pay these thugs, or they would literally, do these horrible things to you. Oh yeah, here's what it says about the tower. You're probably looking for an easy solution to a difficult problem. However, in life, turmoil and upheaval often bring about positive change, just not quite as we would like it. Seize this opportunity that is forcing change as a chance for a new beginning. So, boy, this is like, the Raging Cajun said, during the Clinton years, it's the economy, stupid. Well, now it is the environment, stupid. Oh yeah, another report came out the other day, a global report, that we're in major, major trouble with the environment now. It's, if we don't, I see, and to get the human, and part of this, the big part of the humans to cut it down, we were making some kind of headway until this rite of passage came apart. It's this dark night of the soul. This America's total psychotic, first really major psychotic episode is upon us. I lost my train of thought. I was like, so freaked out there. Okay, a nation does not have to be cruel to be strong. I like, it's still true what Baldwin said. I imagine one of the reasons people cling to their hate so stubbornly is because once the hate is gone, they will be forced to deal with pain. So as I was just lost my train of thought, it just came back. Yeah, if the human race is going to survive, we're not going to do it alone. Europe knows that. That's why they got together. We're going to have to buddy up with China. We're going to have to, it's going to take, because we're the two big industries. Russia's war, that's weapons, that's their thing. They have no economy. That's all. Their economy of mafia. It's a mob mentality. It's just a few, the mob family, the wealth there, but they're very, but they've been brainwashed. I don't know what's going on with them. So the thing is that we're going to have the next administration in that's going to say, okay, let's be friends. Let's work at it. It's like, we're in this boat now where if we don't, okay, so what we got to do is believe in yourself, knowing there is something inside you that is greater than any obstacle. As I said, human potential's way up here, and we're just sleepwalking. Put down your instruments before they melt in your hand. Capiche? Comprende? I'm not what happened to me. Oh yeah, I made a note here about the most terrible narcotic is self-pity. Get off the pity pot, yeah, you didn't get the pony. Big deal, someday I hope we'll spend as much money on inner space. He says, Alan Watts said, the reason we have poverty is that we have no imagination. There's a great many people accumulating what they think is vast wealth, but it's only money. They don't know how to enjoy it because they have no imagination. Putin's with all his billions, all these people with all this money, they just don't know what to do with it. So, I mean, killing, I guess, to them is a thrill, It's being a tyrant. So as we celebrate the Prince of Peace, we all want peace, love, and happiness, and yet we have live lives that are the opposite of peace. What kind of so it's important to remind yourself during the day, stop, souls don't like the president. I don't think they're too fond of what's going on now, even though they know, obviously, the deepest level is why they incarnated with us. They love the future and the past. So remind yourself now, this is happening for us, not to us. Where there's life, there's hope. Dark forces are at work, and they are all doing all they have. They're giving it all they have. This is not the first incarnation with all these Trump and all these people, these supporters. These dark forces are never more at work. But, light. We have to bring light to this, and I'm not throwing cliches around, So as I say, when you use your throat chakra and say, because the throat chakra rules everything, that's the law. And when you say, especially when you say it in the mirror, because when you say you're offering eyes are the window to the soul. So when you look in the mirror and you say, I am surrounded, or you close your eyes, I am surrounded by the peace and the love of God. Breathe that in and feel a warm hug. I just giggle doing that. I do it at night. Remember, close your eyes, summon your strength, believe. And then I always like to, my latest new affirmation is divine intelligence opens my way. Look out. Because the USA this fragile experiment in democracy, where all men and women are created equal, is never been under attack like it is now. I mean, this is the acid test, so to speak. This is the electric Kool-Aid acid test. We have an out of control, malignant narcissist. I mean, he's probably got a list of clinical, malignant diseases having to do with mental disorders that could they'll hopefully dissect his brain after he's out of his misery. So don't wait until you die to live. Enjoy peace now. They always say, well, he's at peace. Why do people have to wait to be dead to be at peace? This is as good as it gets, because you always left off from where you left off. That's why when you leave here, you want to make sure you're not hating anybody or anything, because there's contracts, contacts, and contracts. It's the reason why they sound alike and almost spelt alike, because as a psychic, I see contracts. I did a lot of fairs over the last 33 decades, especially summer, when the weather's nice, and strangers will come by for a free little session with me, and I'll spend a few minutes with everybody, and okay, well, that's enough. I don't want to promote what I do there. But anyway, I cut my teeth on the public, and let me see. They've been taking money from the greedy, giving it to the needy. There was some swamp monsters, some swampy things going on in Washington. But this guy has swamp monsters from a nuclear waste plant. So this 11 is always, whenever people come to me in an 11 year, I always tell them 11's hard on your nervous system. You might want to get some body work done. Well, technically, when 2019 happens, we leave our 11 year behind, and we go from black and white. That's a hard distinction here to communication. All of a sudden, people are just going to, light bulbs are going to go off. I think I've got it. When the chair goes around, the light bulbs start flickering. People are going to communicate. They're going to hear things. As I was saying, I was leaving my building, and I was so happy that the other day that something was happening, and I said, it won't be long now before Donald Trump is gone. And this neighbor, an acquaintance I've known for like 30 years I've been in that building, you know, and he's been there just as long. And but we never really talk much. We just nod to each other and maybe hi, how you doing, nice weather. But I just felt like, you know, I wanted to say something to somebody. I was so happy, and I had to go somewhere, and I just spurted out to him. Wow, I just saw on the news Donald Trump will be out in no time. And he said, "Oh, Frank, come here. I want to tell you something." And he said, "It's all about Hillary Clinton and Benghazi." And I backed off, and I was saying, "Oh my God!" It's like all of a sudden I'm talking to a body snatcher, you know, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where you realize the person you're talking to is an alien, you know, and wants to eat your brains. So I didn't want to freak out or anything, but I realized, oh my God. So I, as polite as I could be, and you know, because it was a pop quiz. I wasn't ready for it. And the universe sends me these pop quizzes. And I snapped at him. I said, "Oh, please, I don't want to hear that Fox News stuff." And then he went like, oh, now this is key. He said, "Oh, no, Frank." And he came in. And as 30 years I've known him, he's never gotten that close to me. And he came over and he said, "I want to tell you something. Like, you know, a friend's going to give you a tip on a market, something that's going to give you a lot of money. You know, he's going to give you this valuable thing. He doesn't want anybody to hear about it. Come here." He said, No. I heard it on CNN and NBC, MSNBC, Frank. Now, I'm watching the best show in town. I watch MSNBC from morning till night. If I'm not watching MSNBC, I'm watching CNN. Because to me, this is like the final Columbo. For 2 years now, I've been waiting for Mueller to come out. Oh yeah, he's going to come out like Prince Valiant and save the day. So at that point, not only am I talking to a body snatcher, you know, but I'm realizing this guy is lying to my face. You know, I detest a liar, you know. Well, you know, I'm recovering from a lot of stuff, but substance abuse, which kills many, many people. And in recovery, I got it. I had good sponsors, and that was like in '82, right after I had my out-of-body experience, and they drilled it into my head, the importance of rigorous honesty, and those that don't heal are those that are simply those who are incapable of that, aka Donald Trump. Actually, I found something by Bernie Sanders. Instead of removing the conditions that make people depressed, modern society gives them antidepressant drugs. In effect, antidepressants are a means of modifying an individual's internal state in such a way as to enable him to tolerate social conditions that he would otherwise find intolerable. Man, people are killing themselves. Men, women, the youth of America are dying because, as I said, if we're going to get out of this as we end the year, let's end it in honesty. We're going to get out of this. You know, the cold truth is I want President Barack Obama to get off his little soapbox everybody keeps putting him on and take some responsibility for where we are now and said, you know what, when I didn't press charges, when I said we're not going to go after Cheney and all the war crime people that got us into this terrible war we're still in, he said, and he had all his people go out there, Rahm Emanuel, the ballet dancer, totally charmless. Saying that his thing was, and they said it over and over again, and if you didn't like what they said, they snapped it in your face like a slap. It would only divide the country. And right now, well, Barack Obama, look how divided we are now. He's got to take some responsibility for this. And then we got to start really, well, it's all going to happen in our 3 yellow year, bring yellow into your life, communication skills, anything to do with the media, television, Mercury rules television, 11 rules television, actually. So it's interesting how TV, from this Fox News and Rush Limbaugh and Hannity, these people make Tokyo Rose look like Mother Teresa. I mean, these people are treasonous. Oh yeah, treason can only happen during war. So isn't it interesting how if he does get us into a war, then we can get him for treason? Yeah, because they said, I didn't realize that. They said the reason that they can never get him for treason, because this judge said, really read him Trump Flynn the Riot Act the other day, that's saying that you're an insult to this flag. I mean, be excited. Nothing gets accomplished without enthusiasm. And our democracy, we have the only democracy on the planet Earth. I mean, really thriving democracy, and it's these pseudo democracies, but not as ain't no black people in Norway. You know what I mean? This is our country. We have I love this country. I love America, and I can't think for one magic moment the angelic help. We're not going to go. But we literally are. I mean, so when you watch the news and just say to yourself, okay, this is it now. This is just going to get this literally our fledgling democracy that has to be renewed with every generation has this malignant cancer spreading like a wildfire across the globe. Other countries are picking up this right-wing fascist dictator stuff. All kinds of human rights violations are going on. As I started off my show with, things are more like they are now than they ever have been. I had all these charts and other things I was going to talk about. Leave you with some good affirmations. Communications with extraterrestrials all over South America and Europe. The public's, oh yeah, of course there's other life on other. We're not the only universe. Galileo said we were the center. We are not the center of the sun. We go around the sun. In this universe, but there's countless other universes. We're on an endless journey through eternity. And there's plenty of time to do everything we're going to get done. And we're never going to get anything really done that we want to get done in this lifetime. Whatever we do is going to be picked up by someone else. But it's a joy in this, even in the suffering. Gandhi said that. There's a joy in the suffering, knowing that you're doing something for a reason. Most people want that gratification. Look what I did, This is what I helped do. Look what we did in San Francisco. We helped with gay rights, and now Gavin Newsom is taking all the credit for it. We got cannabis on 215. Now we're under the bus, medical cannabis. But many of us are really upset about that, I'm angry. It angers me. That's why I'm talking about it now. I don't let the anger kill me. Giving into anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. I ain't dying for nobody. I don't care, orange, whatever, Well, I wanted to talk about Mind Body Code, great book by Dr. Mario Martinez. See what else we got here. Whatever you're doing to excel in the world, this is about this winter solstice conjunct the full moon. So the 22nd and the 23rd, these are dynamic couple of days coming up. Whatever you're doing to excel in the world that isn't working, both professionally and personally, stop. Use the mojo of this winter solstice full moon conjunction is providing you with a change to change your plan of action. A lot of with Virgo, they're into perfection. Sometimes they don't understand they're working on a perfect mess, And if you're exactly where you want to be in the world, show some humble gratitude for sowing strong seeds. By myself, I couldn't get out of bed in the morning. I started in the morning, turned my life over to my higher power. I am surrounded by the love and the peace. So while you're doing your Christmas caroling, and don't drink. Don't give in to the liquor companies and think that drinking some poison named Royal this, Royal that, and these polished ads that make these you know, people of color. They're targeting people of color now because it used to be they would sell them more liquor because it makes you violent because it's got so much manganese in it. So I guess they're now elevating their market to, because I think the cannabis movement is taking, they're starting to feel the bite in the new people waking up now and harm reduction. So yeah, don't be a sheep. Don't drink. You know, Albert Einstein said, "The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them without doing anything." Yeah, if something is out of alignment, you know, I did a lot of research on YouTube and on the web, looking for any information I could get about the axis now. For it just started, we got like just started 18 months of. Little 2 weeks into this 18 months of the North Node goes from 29 Cancer, and then 18 months it'll go 0, and see it goes that way. So with this North Node in Cancer, and it was all the same old, whatever, like Groundhog Day scenarios, you get a chance to release them. And then this one woman said, whatever you're looking in your life at, and you finally say, and then she uses, you know, an explorative, F this poop. I've had it with this. I'm out of here. Stick a fork in me. I'm done. Yeah, when you reach that area, see, this is that Capricorn stuff now. See, that's the karma. We want to go with the Dharma now. Is the cuddly Cancer, nurturing. We're war weary. We want the peace that the season's greetings is celebrating. The Prince of Peace's life. So don't wait to die before you live a life of peaceful abundance. Accept it right now. Keeping God's gift to you away is the hardest work you'll ever do. Accept that you have gifts. Be receptive. Open up. Get rid of any gloom and doom in your subconscious. I love you, and I'll do one show next month in January because Bayback will be closed the first week. I'm normally here the first and the third. Denise Dory will be right here in a few minutes. She's probably walking right down the hall right now. Liberal Buzz here in San Francisco. You can get our shows on YouTube. Thanks for making this a fabulous 2018. I hope I paid it back a little. Namaste.